As the bitter winter wind howled through the streets, Paul shivered under his worn-out jacket. He clutched his wallet tightly, knowing it held the last $5 to his name. The thought of skipping his next meal gnawed at his empty stomach. But then, he saw her, a frail woman huddled in a tattered blanket on the icy sidewalk, her hands trembling as she held a sign, hungry and cold. "Please help." Paul hesitated. Could he afford to help? The $5 was all he had left. But her eyes, filled with despair, mirrored a pain he knew too well. Taking a deep breath, he crouched down and handed her the bill. "Stay safe," he whispered. The woman's eyes welled with tears. "Thank you," she said, her voice cracking with emotion. Paul walked away, trying to silence the voice in his head questioning his decision. Little did he know, that single act of kindness would change his life forever. The next morning, Paul woke up to the familiar pang of hunger. He hadn't eaten since the morning before, but there was no money for food. As he sat on his mattress in his tiny, cold apartment, there was a knock at the door. "Who could it be?" he muttered, pulling himself up. When he opened the door, his heart nearly stopped. Standing there was a man in a sharp suit, holding a large envelope. Behind him was the woman Paul had helped the previous night, now clean, warm, and smiling softly. "Are you Paul?" the man asked. "Yes," Paul replied, his voice barely audible. The man handed him the envelope. "I'm here on behalf of my employer, Mrs. Thompson. She has a message for you." Confused, Paul opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. "Dear Paul, last night, your selfless act of giving touched my heart in ways you can't imagine. I've been homeless for weeks, not because I'm truly destitute, but because I lost hope after the recent loss of my husband. I wanted to see if kindness still existed in the world. You proved it does. What you didn't know is that I am the CEO of a foundation that helps people get back on their feet. I believe you deserve a second chance at life. Enclosed is a check for $10,000 to help you rebuild. But more importantly, I'd like to offer you a job at my company, where kindness is our core value. Thank you for reminding me of humanity's goodness. Sincerely, Margaret Thompson." Tears streamed down Paul's face as he read the letter. The woman he'd helped wasn't just another soul in need, she was someone with the power to change his life. The man in the suit explained that the job would start immediately if Paul accepted. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Paul agreed. In the weeks that followed, Paul's life transformed. He began working for Margaret's foundation, helping others who were struggling, just like he once had. His small apartment was soon replaced by a modest but comfortable home. And with each step forward, Paul never forgot the lesson that had sparked it all: kindness costs little but can yield unimaginable rewards. The story of Paul and Margaret became an inspiration to many. Paul often shared his story, reminding others that even in their darkest moments, they have the power to bring light to someone else's life. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness lead to the biggest miracles. Never underestimate the power of giving, even when you have little to give.